Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play, link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to this review. This is Psychic Awakening, War of the Spider. So some updates here for some of the factions. A number of factions have been waiting a long time for an update here and trying to keep up with the other factions that have been receiving updates here. So what I plan to do, similar to previous reviews, is break this up into sections just to make it easier for everybody to access the relevant section for them. So the first video here will focus on the Talons of the Emperor, Adeptus, Custodes, Sisters of Silence, all the rules there that we'll check out, stratagems, traits and relics and so on. And it's like a tactical review, so if I was collecting these, then I'll sort of give an idea of what direction I'd start to lean and what seems to work well, and what stratagems and so on I think are pretty good. So it'll be that kind of angle that I'll be coming from as well. Then we'll also be looking at the assassins, separate video I reckon for that one. Then Death Guard Chaos Space Marines, that's going to be interesting because Aaron Allen collects those and he's looking to improve his Death Guard army there. And then finally I may lump it in with the Death Guard or may do a separate video just to make it convenient, the rules for Fabius Bar as well. So check out gamingfigures.com, link is in the video description below. They do 40k and a load of other gaming systems, not just Games Workshop, a load of other stuff as well, and paints and accessories and so on, all at a discounted rates. Check them out for discount 40k and more. So I have enjoyed these Psychic Awakening books. I think they've been a good series that Games Workshop have produced. I know it's created more rules and more abilities and so on, but you're sort of moving the story along, some resculpts and some brand new models being released, some updates for all the factions and so on. So it's been good. I have to say it's been a good series the Games Workshop have released. My only complaint to a degree is just the overload of stratagems. So many stratagems now, which I think is a bit overbearing at times. But anyway, 8th edition has been good, as we are about to move into 9th edition. So background story here, I'll cover that here in this first video. So the unravelling web. Echoes of Awakening. Then as per usual you get your missions. Refreshing Fields, Theatres of War, Merciless Ambush. If you fancy a change, a different scenario to usual and try something different, you can work your way through these. Hostile Acquisitions. Interesting, Unexpected Quarters. And then now Talons of the Emperor. So this section contains relics, warlord traits and stratagems to allow you to field a force representing specific shield hosts of the Adeptus Custodes. You also find additional stratagems that can be used with any Adeptus Custodes army. A stratagem that can be used to upgrade your shield captain with an additional rule to represent the leader of a shield host, and a name generator so you can personalise your characters as well. It's a pretty hefty update for Custodes. Interesting to see if this is any good. So, if your army's battle forged includes any Adeptus Custodes detachments, you can select which shield host each of those detachments belongs to form the shield host listed in the following pages. So you can mix and match. You can give different shield hosts different detachments. If you do, all Adeptus Custodes units from that detachment, excluding shield captain General Trajan Valoris, gain the relevant shield host faction keyword. Let's give you some examples there. Adeptus Custodes detachment that belongs to one of the shield hosts has access to the following rules. So, you get the relics, warlord traits, and stratagems, and then you select your shield host. So, that's the way it works, yeah. So, Shadow Keepers is the first. And it's a good few to choose from to match your style of play, what you're aiming to do, just to enhance your army a little bit. So, Shadow Keepers, Warlord trait, Lock Warden. Resolve an attack made by a character model against this warlord, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Resolve an attack made by this warlord against an enemy character unit, subtract 1 from the saving throw, including invuln saves. Nice. Great, that's really good. Relic of Terror, Stasis Oubliette. At the start of the fight phase, select one enemy character within 3 inches of a model of this relic. At the end of that phase, halve the attack's characteristic of the model in that unit, rounding up. Resolve an attack made by a friendly Shadow Keeper's model against that character. Reroll wound rolls of 1. Interesting. Get sort of on the hunt for enemy characters here, both of these. And then Grim Responsibility is the stratagem. 1 command point. Use a stratagem in any phase when a Shadow Keeper's unit from your army is chosen as the target of an attack. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack against that unit, subtract 1 from the strength characteristic of that attack. So, quite defensive for Shadow Keepers. Sounds alright. Okay. Next, Aquilin Shield. Warlord trait. Revered Companion. Resolve an attack made against this warlord, halve any damage inflicted, rounding up. Again, quite defensive. Relic of Terror. Praesidius. Model with a Storm Shield only. Resolve an attack made against a model of this relic, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Okay, and then Shield of Honor. 1 command point. Use a stratagem in any phase. An Imperium character unit from your army is chosen as the target of an attack made by a model in an enemy unit. Select one Aquilin Shield Infantry or Aquilin Shield Dreadnought unit within 3 inches of that Imperium character unit. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a model in that enemy unit. Measure range to the Imperium character unit, but resolve attacks by models in that enemy's model's unit against the unit you selected. If the unit you selected is destroyed, any remaining attacks are lost. Okay, then next, Dread Host. Warlord trait, All-Seeing Annihilator. Sounds good. Resolve an attack made by a melee weapon by a model in a friendly Dread Host unit within 6 inches of this warlord. An unmodified hit roll of a 6 scores an additional hit. So 6 is pop extra hits. Dread Host units within 6. Yeah, nice bubble. Not bad. Okay. Then the Relic of Terror is the Admonimortis. I'll say it only once. Model with a Castellan axe only. The Relic of Terror replaces a Castellan axe as the following profile. So for shooting, range 24, rapid fire 1, strength 4, -1, 2 damage. And then in melee, it is +3 strength, -3 AP, and a straight 3 damage. Nice. Really nice. Great relic, that one. Next is the Golden Light of the Moirides. 1 or 2 command points. Use this stratagem at the start of your charge phase. Select one Dread Host unit from your army that teleported into the battle this turn for 1 command point, or up to 3 for 2 command points. At the end of that phase, when a charge roll is made for that unit, roll an additional d6 and discard one of the dice. That is very helpful. 3d6, choosing the best. Yeah, that is very, very, very helpful. Yeah. Excellent stratagem. So looking pretty good for the Dread Host here so far. again, if you're a Adeptus Custodes player, then leave your own comments and feedback which you think is better. Your overall view of this, whether you think it's been a decent improvement for Custodes or not. Solar Watch next. Warlord trait is Sally Forth. At the start of the movement phase, add 1 inch to the move characteristic of all friendly Solar Watch units within 6 inches of this warlord until the end of that phase. Whilst the units within 6 inches of this warlord, models and friendly Solar Watch units that have advanced can shoot with rapid fire weapons in the following shooting phase, but must subtract 1 from the hit rolls for those attacks. It's okay. Shooting isn't... They're not notorious for brilliant firepower anyway. Shooting one, yeah, okay. It's alright. Relic of Terror at the Swift Silver Talon. Model with a Guardian Spear only. Model with this relic can shoot and charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. That's useful. And the replacement is... shooting is range 24, assault 4, strength 4, -1/2 damage. Brilliant. And then shooting, the Swift Silver Talon is +1 strength, AP -3, and D3 damage. It's a melee weapon. Eagle's Strike, 0 command points. Uses stratagem in any phase when an enemy character unit is destroyed as a result of an attack made by a Solar Watch model from your army. The next time your opponent wishes to use a stratagem, they must spend 1 extra command point to use that stratagem. This stratagem can be used once per battle round. Interesting, that one. Very unique. So that's okay. Dreadhost is my favourite so far. Emissaries Imperatus. Voice of the Emperor is the Warlord trait. Whilst they're in 9 inches of this Warlord, friendly Imperium units can use this Warlord's leadership characteristic. So handy if you're taking allies, maybe. Add 3 inches to the range value of this Warlord's aura abilities, which has already been added, because it's 9, yeah. Relic of Terror, Auxilia, Vexilla Dominatus. Model with a Vexilla Defensor only. Replace the model with this Relic's Custodes Vexilla and Vexilla Defensor ability with the following. So, whilst within 6 inches of a model of this relic, you can reroll failed morale tests for friendly Imperium Infantry and Imperium Biker units. Whilst the unit is within 6 inches of a model of this relic, friendly Emissaries Imperatus models count as 3 models for the purposes of determining who controls an objective marker. Then, the Emperor's Hand, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in any phase in which an Emissaries Imperatus unit from your army is chosen to shoot or fight with. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a model in that unit. Ignore any negative hit roll, wound roll, and arm penetration characteristic modifiers, and any benefit to the save and throw as a result of cover for that attack. Okay. And that's it. So that's your options 5 to choose from. But I reckon Dreadhost would definitely take that modified axe, damage 3. And this ability here, 3d6 charge, choosing the best for up to 3 units. To just 2 command points. Yep. Okay, so now general stratagems. So whichever you go for, these apply to all of your Custodes units. So searching, gold digging here for a golden nugget in amongst these stratagems here. You usually get 1 or 2 that are really good that you just have next to your other usual stratagems that you definitely worth using. So 10,000 heroes, 1 command point. Use this stratagem before the battle. After nominating your warlord, select one Adeptus Custodes character model from your army. It's not your warlord, determine a trait for it. So I've seen that kind of stratagem before. Other factions have that, just the ability to generate extra warlord traits. Ancient Artifice, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in any phase when Adeptus Custodes Dreadnought unit from your army is chosen as the target for an attack. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made against the unit, halve the damage inflicted. Right, so they need that help. So that's pretty good. Then Arcane Genetic Alchemy, 2 command points. Use this stratagem in any phase when an Adeptus Custodes unit from your army that is not a vehicle is chosen as the target for an attack. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made against that unit. An unmodified wound roll of 1 to 3 always fails, irrespective of any abilities that weapon or the model making that attack has. Yep, so helpful enough for sure. Because Adeptus Custodes is a very elite army, and you start taking casualties and you don't have much stuff left, so anything to add levels of protection to units. Eternal Penitent, 1 command point. Use a stratagem before the battle. Select one Adeptus Custodes Dreadnought unit from your army. Increase that unit's attacks characteristic by 1. You can reroll charge rolls made for that unit. Each Adeptus Custodes Dreadnought unit from your army can only be selected for this stratagem once. So yeah, they have some like Forge Worlds Dreadnoughts that are very combat based, so that would be a welcome bonus for them. Vengeance of the Machine Spirit, 2 command points. Use a stratagem in any phase when Adeptus Custodes vehicle model from your army with the power of the Machine Spirit ability is destroyed. The model can either automatically explode, shoot with one of its ranged weapons as if it were a shooting phase, or make one attack with one of its melee weapons as if it were in the fight phase. Use the top row of the damage table for ranged weapons and melee weapons. One attack with a melee weapon. 2 command points. Useful if you have like a twin las cannon, for example. Might be worth it. Slayers of Nightmares. Next, 2 command points. Use a stratagem in the fight phase when an Adeptus Custodes unit from your army is chosen to fight with. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a melee weapon by a model in that unit against a unit with a higher toughness characteristic than your own. You can add 1 to the wound roll. Okay. So helpful, yeah, if you're up against a tougher enemy target. Okay. Fortress of Willpower, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in your opponent's psychic phase when Adeptus Custodes unit from your army is selected as the target of a psychic power that was successfully manifested this turn. Roll 1d6, adding 1 to the result if that unit is a Custodian Warden's unit. On a 4+, that psychic power has no effect. Yeah, pretty good level of protection there. Next, Indomitable Engines, 1 command point. And it's helpful enough because you can imagine things like Smite would cause trouble for Custodes. There's no real screens to absorb Smite. You're straight into the elite infantry, so that could be quite dangerous. Indomitable Engines, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in any phase when Adeptus Custodes vehicle model from your army would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound. Again, is this protection coming from mortal wounds? It's 5+. Feel no pain against that. Superior Fire Patterns, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase when Adeptus Custodes infantry unit from your army that did not advance in your previous movement phase is chosen to shoot with. At the end of that phase, models in that unit make double the number of attacks with rapid fire and pistol weapons. Nice. Yeah, that's a good one. The Emperor's Auspice, 2 command points. Use a stratagem in any phase when Adeptus Custodes unit from your army is chosen as the target of an attack. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack against that unit. Your opponent cannot reroll any dice for that attack. Interesting. Another good one. It's kind of expensive though. It's that critical point in the game though when you've got a unit in trouble. It lasts to the end of the phase, so it may well prove to be very, very helpful. There's that key unit the opponent's going to try and break through. You play that stratagem, it has cost 2 command points, but its bonus lasts until the very end of the phase, so all the way through that shooting phase. Or it's melee. Any phase. Yep. Great, okay. Yeah, a bit of a countermeasure there to buff some bonuses that the opponent might have. Blood Games Veterans, 1 or 2 command points. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase. Select one Adeptus Custodes unit from your army that contains 5 or less models for 1 command point, or 6 or more for 2 command points. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a ranged weapon by a model in that unit. An unmodified hit roll of 6 is an auto hit and auto wound. Okay. Shooting phase. And then Archaeotech Munitions, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase when Adeptus Custodes unit from your army is chosen to shoot with. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a ranged weapon with a damage characteristic of D6 by a model in the unit. Roll 1 additional D6 and discard 1 of the dice. A bit of help there. And then Auramite and Adamantium. Use 1 command point. Use your stratagem in any phase when Adeptus Custodes Terminator unit from your army is selected as the target of an attack. To the end of that phase, resolve an attack against that unit. An armor penetration characteristic of -1 or -2 is resolved as 0 for that attack. That's helpful, trying to keep that 2+ armor safe. Fraternity of Heroes. Yeah, and just see if it's last to the end of the phase. Fraternity of Heroes. 1 command point, use a stratagem at the end of your opponent's charge phase. Select one Adeptus Custodes unit from your army more than an inch away from any enemy models. That unit can immediately perform heroic intervention as if it were a character, but must finish that move within an inch of one or more enemy units. Okay. So, not too bad. Yeah, it's okay. There's some helpful stratagems for sure, but not too amazing. I don't know. Check the comment section below. If you're Adeptus Custodes player, how do you feel about these updates here? There's some improvements, but nothing amazing, I don't think. So what you've got here now, if your army is battle forged and includes the Adeptus Custodes detachments, excluding auxiliary support detachments, you have access to the stratagem to the right. You can spend command points to activate it. If you do so, and you have an army roster, you must note it under reserve. Okay, so Captain Commander. 1 command point. Use a stratagem before the battle. Select one shield captain model from your army. So, you don't have Trajan Valoris. Built your own model. Now there's a chance to put a bit of customization in here and to try and make them a bit better. So select one Captain Commander trait from the list to the left. You can use a stratagem once per battle. So, there's a good number here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Slayer of the Unclean is the first one. When resolving an attack made by this model, unmodified wound roll of 6, double the damage characteristic of the weapon for that attack. So D3 becomes 2D3. Not bad, it's not bad. If you're really intent on getting him stuck in. Yep. Yes, and I guess this counts for the Shield Captain on a Dawn Eagle Jetbike, I think. So just has to have the Shield Captain keyword. So I think that would work okay. Swift as the Eagle. Add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for that model. And +1 move as well. Okay. So, again, helpful. Then Strategic Mastermind. Whilst this model is on the battlefield, you can roll 1d6 for each command point you spend to use a stratagem. On a 5+, the command point is refunded. You can only have 1 command point refunded per battle round by this ability. Okay. Which is helpful enough. Bane of Abominations. Resolve an attack made by this model against an enemy monster unit or vehicle unit. You can reroll the wound roll. It cuts your options down though. It is good, but half the time, perhaps more, you're not fighting against monsters or vehicles. You're getting stuck in against characters and infantry. Indomitable Constitution. +2 to the wounds characteristic of this model. Gosh, that's a lot of wounds. So I think they come with about 6 or 7 anyway. So that's pretty good. And then Master of Melee. Whilst this model is within an inch of enemy units that contain 6 or more models, increase its attack characteristic by 2. It's a rule you could easily forget during the middle of a game, but that's not too bad. Unstoppable Destroyer. When this model piles in, it can move up to D3 +3 inches. It can end the move closer to any enemy model within that distance of this model. When this model consolidates, it can move up to D3 +3 and does not have to end the move closer to the nearest enemy model. So, interesting one. Defiant to the last. For each wound this model has lost, increase its attack characteristic by 1 to a maximum of additional 3 attacks. And then Inspirational Exemplar. Add 3 to the range of this model's aura abilities. Okay, so there's definitely some that are better than others. Yeah, I like number 1, Slayer of the Unclean, that rolling a 6 to wound is double the damage. Nice. Yeah, and Indomitable Constitution, +2 wounds. Straightforward. Adds a fair bit of durability there. Really good. So your name generator. And then it's the cadres of the Silent Sisters. So Games Workshop sculpted these some years back. Now that's fully updated. All the rules are here, plus all the bonus stratagems and so on. So great, they're pulling this all together. This is really good. So If your army's battle forged includes any Sisters of Silence detachments, excluding auxiliary support detachments, or any Adeptus Custodes detachments that include any Sisters of Silence units, you can use the stratagems on page 46. So just a few pages on. So, I'll call these out then. A Null Maiden Rhino is 65 points. Prosecutors are 10 points. Vigilators are 10 points. And Witch Seekers are 10 points. Units of 5 to 10 for all of those. Bolt Gun 0, Flamer 6, Hunter Killer Missile 6, Psych Out Grenade 0, Stormbolters 2, and the Executioner Great Blade is 5 points. So you've got Name Generator. Abilities then. The following abilities are common to many Sisters of Silence units. Witch Hunters. Resolve an attack made by a model in this unit against a psychic unit. You can reroll the wound rolls. Rerolling your wound against psychers. Attacks made by model. So I take it that's close combat only, or perhaps that applies also as shooting. Don't think so, but it could be. And then Psychic Abomination. This unit cannot be targeted or affected by psychic powers, and it's massive. Mate, crazy. When a psychic test or its Neither Witch test is taken for an enemy model, subtract 1 from the total for each unit from your army with this ability within 18 inches of that model to a maximum of -4. So interesting, just deny all the psychic powers. And quite an effective screen maybe to use. Then you've got Battle-Forged armies, Talons of the Emperor. If your army's Battle-Forged, units of the Sisters of Silence faction keyword can be included in Adeptus Custodes detachment in your army without preventing that detachment from being Adeptus Custodes detachment. Note, this does not prevent Adeptus Custodes units from that detachment from gaining any detachment abilities. For example, the Emperor's Chosen, the Sworn Guardian's abilities. However, Sisters of Silence units cannot themselves gain any detachment abilities. In the same way, those Sisters of Silence units are ignored for any rules that state all units from the detachment must have at least one faction keyword in common, and when determining your army's faction. So they've worked them into your regular Custodes detachments now. It's a good move, I think. Null Maidens. A Sisters of Silence Vanguard detachment that is a Vanguard detachment that includes only Sisters of Silence units is treated as having HQ battlefield role slots of 0 and command benefits of none. Note this means there are no compulsory HQ selections for Sisters of Silence Vanguard detachments. So that's an opportunity there to take them as their own detachment. So just some background information there for Sisters of Silence. So I'll run through these here then. Points values have already been dished out here. 10 points each pretty much. So power level 3 for prosecutors, units of 4. And you can take up to 5 more, so units of 10 you can go up to. Movement 7, weapon skill and ballistic skill 3+, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, 2 attacks each, leadership 8 and a 3+ save. The squad leader, the superior, has 3 attacks and leadership goes up to 9. The bolt gun, psych out grenades, range 6, grenade D3, strength 2, AP 0, 1 damage. Resolve an attack with this weapon against a psych or a demon unit. You can a hit roll of a 6+ inflicts a mortal wound, and the attack sequence ends. So they get Psychic Abomination and Witch Hunters, and then Prosecution Protocols. Models in this unit can target enemy characters that are Psychers, even if they're not the closest enemy unit. Vigilators. Move, same stat line, same size units, and then the big sword they've got here is +2 strength, fighting at strength 5, 8 -3, D3 damage. So it's a combat version of them. Next is the Witch Seekers. Same stat line. Yep. And standard weapon is a flamer. All equipped with flamers. And psych out grenades. Okay. So bolter, flamer, melee. Options. The Null Maiden Rhino, not going to call that out here. Just a rhino that's been sprayed gold. That's pretty much it. But it can carry a Sisters of Silence infantry models. And then now the stratagems here. So, Empiric Severance, 1 command point. Use this stratagem in your opponent's psychic phase. When an enemy psychic manifests psychic power in 18 inches of a Sisters of Silence infantry unit from your army, after any Deny the Witch test, after any Deny the Witch attempt, roll 1d6 on a 3+, that psychic power is resisted and its effects are negated. strong enough stratagem there. I think Custodes players are going to be excited enough to be able to work in Sisters of Science into their Custodes lists. Yeah, maybe your Custodes army's been harassed by enemy psychic armies for so long, and then now you can you can try and do something to remedy the situation. Next is Talons, 1 command point. Use this stratagem in any phase after shooting or fighting an Adeptus Custodes unit from your army. Select one friendly Sisters of Science infantry unit within 6 inches of that unit. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a model in that Sisters of Science unit. You can reroll the hit roll. So, helpful. Punishment Fire, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase when a prosecutor's unit from your army is chosen to shoot with. At the end of that phase, change the range and type characteristic of bolt guns equipped on models in that unit to 18 and assault 3 respectively. Okay, and then Desperation's Price, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in your opponent's psychic phase when an enemy psychic unit within 18 inches of a Sisters of Science infantry unit from your army suffers perils of the warp. That psycho suffers an additional D3 mortal wounds, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just play it and roll up your D3 mortal wounds. Okay. Creeping Dead. Next, Creeping Dread. 1 command point. Use this stratagem at the end of any phase. Select one Sisters of Science infantry unit from your army. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a model in an enemy unit within 6 inches of that unit. Subtract 1 from the hit roll. You can easily forget to play that through the middle of a game. Decapitating Strikes. 1 command point. Use a stratagem in the fight phase when a Vigilator unit from your army is chosen to fight with. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a melee weapon by a model in that unit. Add 1 to the wound roll. So it's okay. I'm not getting too blown away by these stratagems here. I think the first one's the best one so far. Purgation Sweep. 1 or 2 command points. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase. Select a Witch Seeker unit from your army that contains 5 or less models for 1 command point, or 6 or more models for 2 command points. At the end of that phase, we're going to determine the number of attacks made by flame weapons that model in that units are equipped with. Any results of 4 or less count as 4. That's a pretty good one. Yep. Yeah, nice. Not bad at all, that one. Immaterial Dissonance. 1 command point. Use your stratagem in your shooting phase or your opponent's charge phase after resolving an attack made with Psych Out Grenade by a Sisters of Science model from your army against a Psyker or Demon unit that scored a hit. At the end of that phase, that Psyker or Demon unit cannot fire Overwatch. Resolve an attack made by a model in their unit. Subtract 1 from the hit roll. So it's okay, it's alright. Okay, so not too blown away by the stratagems. And really, your Sisters of Science is your ability to negate psychic powers coming through, just to aid as a bit of a bodyguard to fight alongside your Adeptus Custodes units. But other than that, I wouldn't expect too much of them. I don't think, because there's nothing too scary about them, just really that ability to negate psychic powers and to aid in some buffs and bonuses. But that's the review then for Adeptus Custodes. Next will be Imperial Agents, so that's your assassins. We'll take a look at that. They're already really good, but we'll see if they're any better in the next video. But that is the review. Keep a lookout for more reviews on the channel. Good number of them coming out at the moment, just trying to catch up with the reviews. So thanks for your patience. We're trying to crank these out as quick and as efficiently as possible. Check out gamingfigures.com for your discount 40k and other ranges available from them as well. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.